I'll tell you what the hardest thing about making this video is, for me. It's that I fucking love Tony Ferguson, and I'm a huge Tony Ferguson fan, and I always have been, and I always will be. Even after making this. Whatever he chooses to do, I will always love the guy. But the second that Tony Ferguson, if he ever was to watch this video, would instantly fucking hate me for what I'm about to say. And that's the thing that pains me right now, having to make this video and having to put it out there in the world. Because I'd love to meet the guy, I'd love to fucking speak to him, I'd love to train with him, love to spar with him, get fucked up. I want to examine his elbows more. Like, genuinely, I want to have a look at his elbows. Are they sharp as fuck or something, man? He cuts people up with them. But no, look, it really is hard for me to make this video and not be a fanboy about him. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you look at my other videos, I was fanboying out on Yuri Prochazka. I was fanboying out on Paddy Pimblett. And as an MMA fan that loves them all, I'm struggling to not fanboy about them. Because I'm new as well, let's not forget that. I'm new to all this and I'm getting used to it all. But this is definitely part of the learning curve that I didn't anticipate. It's the inability to not be a fanboy about them. And it's just fucking tough, innit? It's just one of them. If this is what I want to do, then I've got to fucking speak bad about them sometimes. Not speak bad, but be real. Like Beneil. You know what I mean? Be real like Beneil. Boy. Got them rhymes coming out. What do you say about Tony Ferguson, man? What is next for Tony Ferguson? This is what this video's all about. He's coming off 3 losses. Justin Gaethje dominated him on the standing. Dominated him on the feet. Charles Olivera dominated him in the wrestling, in the ground, in the jiu-jitsu. Had him in multiple submission attempts and threatened to fucking snap his arm clean off. And then but he almost got away with those 2 losses, right? He almost didn't look that bad because Justin Gaethje is top 3. Charles Olivera has now just won the belt. Obviously, he was on his way to fighting for the belt before he fought Beneil. It didn't seem too bad because on his resume he's beaten so many fantastic people. 2 losses after a 12-fight win streak against 2 top contenders that are young and fresh and coming up and are on a different trajectory in their career to him. Yeah, man, you can kind of get away with that, but then you lose to Beneil Dariush. Man! Tony Ferguson. You're asking your fans if you think you should retire or not. You're putting it out there if you think you should retire, if you think you should quit. I think you should do whatever the fuck you want to do, mate. And if you regard retiring right now after 3 losses as quitting, then I guess the question you've got to ask yourself, mate, is can you live with that? Because we don't see it as quitting. We want you to retire because we know that we fucking love you. We don't want you to take any more unnecessary damage. But the bottom line is you've got to do whatever you want to do, mate. It can't be for the fans. You can't do what the fans want you to do. Whether they want you to retire or whether they want you to stay. The majority of the polls I've seen, it's 60% retire. Which saddens me. Because I'm not sure how he's going to take that. After the way that the live fans reacted to Tony Ferguson after he came out, and the press conference, the weigh-ins, all of it, there wasn't a single fighter that night that got a bigger scream, that got a bigger shout for him, that got more love from the fans. And so when he's put that tweet out, I think he's assumed that the fans are going to be like, no, what do you mean? Stay, stay, stay. We want you to stay. Don't talk about retiring. You're a legend. We love you. But now he's going to see that as... Well, I don't know how he's going to interpret that. I hope he sees it as it's coming from a place of love. But anyway, but now we're just getting down to psychology, and it's hard, man, because Tony Ferguson's a very difficult guy to read and predict in terms of his reactions and how he's going to take things, and because he seems crazy and intelligent, and he seems like he's got a hell of a lot of thoughts going through his head all the time. What is next for Tony Ferguson? 60% of the fans want him to retire. I think I'm on the 40% side. On one condition. He accepts that his title run's finished. He accepts that he no longer has any place. That sounds bad. Of course he has a place. But he accepts that he shouldn't be getting in the way of these young prospects that are coming up right now. Don't be fighting anyone else in the top 5. Fight someone that's on your level. Fight a legend. I tell you what's an absolute incredible fight. The best fight that Tony Ferguson could make for himself, or the UFC could make for Tony Ferguson, by far, without question, right, is Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz. And if you think I'm wrong, you can suck it, because I'm not, right? Dead serious. Suck it. There isn't a better fight for Tony Ferguson. They're both on the similar skill level. They've got similar sort of chaotic but also effective striking that's both unorthodox and still technically sound in some aspects but also flawed in others. Fucking hell, that was a long-winded description of the striking, wasn't it? So, like I said, I'm on the 40% side. I think that he shouldn't retire. One condition, fight someone on your level. Nate Diaz would be amazing. Nate Diaz, listen, boy, get on that treadmill. Get back down to 155. You know you can do it. Get down to lightweight and fight Tony Ferguson. I am trying really hard not to fanboy out. Beneil Dariush put on an incredible performance. Can't take anything away from him. Looked fantastic. But the reason why this fight is the most soul-destroying to watch as a Tony Ferguson fan, it's because it was a loss that I think for many meant a lot more than the other two did, because it was against a fighter that wasn't regarded as an elite fighter. You know what I mean? You get rocked in the 4th round after an absolute war with Justin Gaethje, after taking hundreds of shots to the dome by Gaethje, and you lose that fight. That's not the worst. You know what I mean? It was a bad matchup. It was against a defensive wrestler like Gaethje, so the fight was never going to go to the ground. And Gaethje's striking was just better. He connected harder, he hit harder, and more often. Alright, so you got beat by a good striker. Right, so then he goes against Charles Olivera. Well, Charles Olivera is absolutely on fire right now, as we've clearly just seen, as the future has gone on to continue and predict. He's now the lightweight champ. The machine, man. We love the guy. He's a beast. He deserves to be champion. But losing to them two, it's semi-acceptable. But to then lose to Beneil, I mean, I'm not going to lie, man. I don't care what which sidekick Nostradamus of the bookies got working for them. Because why was Beneil Dariush the favourite? Obviously, now I can see why he was the favourite, but who the fuck's predicting that? Am I so far gone? Am I that much of a fanboy that I let it affect who I think is going to win? Because that's not good for me. I just want him to make a decision that he's happy with, that he can live with for the rest of his life, and that isn't going to fucking mess him up in 10 years' time and make him regret it. Tony doesn't strike me as the type of guy to regret having another fight and losing 4. He doesn't. I think he'll look at that as well. At least I fucking tried. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he'll look at that and get depressed. But I think if he was to retire now and be like, fuck, in 10 years' time, like, I could have had another fight. I didn't have to lose. I could have gone out on a win. I was still young. I'm still fit. I was 37. I could have gone out and had another fight. I don't want him to live with regrets, is what I'm saying. I know what everyone else is thinking as well. Well, yeah, you don't want him to live without fucking brain trauma either, dickhead. Don't give him a fight against someone that is capable of doing that. Let's look way down the rankings, alright? I'm trying to think of someone at lightweight that he could fight that's an acceptable, fair fight. I can't think. I can't think of the old boys that are still in there. Half of them seem to drop down to fucking featherweight these days. As a rematch with Barboza would have been incredible. Barboza's looking brilliant. That performance he just put on against Shane Burgos was fucking beautiful. That looked like the old Edson Barboza. And he's a big boy at featherweight, man. He looks strong. But anyway, off topic. Tony, don't ask the fans questions don't ask fans to make decisions that only you can make. This is your career, bro. And this is your life, more importantly. You know what you can live with and what you can't live with. You're a legend. Do whatever you want. This video isn't about me telling you what you should do. Fuck everyone else that's doing that. We don't need to listen to these guys voicing their opinions about what you should do, mate. I hope you're happy, lad. And whatever decision you do decide to make, I've got your back, man. But yeah, mate. Do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. Retire. Start a fucking podcast. Fuck, man, you know. All the diehards would subscribe. Within day one, you'll have over 10,000 subscribers. 100,000. I don't know. You'd have a few. You're crazy, man. People want to hear what you got to say. Even no matter how much they don't understand what you mean. But we love the way your brain operates. And that's the important thing. We love you as a person. It's not just the fighter. It's not just the fighter. You are more than just a UFC fighter. Don't give everything that you've got. That sounds backwards. Of course you should give everything that you've got. But I mean, don't give it... but that's a figurative... Do you know what I mean? That's figuratively speaking. But don't literally give everything you've got to being a UFC fighter. You've got to think about the escape plan. Because whether it is this fight, or whether it's the next fight, or whether it's 5 fights down the line, the end is coming, mate. You've got to decide when you walk away. Only you can make that decision. And you best have a good plan B, a good escape strategy. Whether it's coaching, whether it's podcasting, doing seminars, whatever it might be, just be happy, man. Stop asking the fans. Don't ever ask the fans again if you should retire. That is on you, mate. And hey, one last thing before I go, right? Tony Ferguson, mate. If you do ever hear this, don't get mad, lad. Just keeping it real. Tried my hardest not to fucking fanboy, and I'm sure I still fucking did a little bit. And it was hard as fuck for me to make this video. I mean, as a content creator, I have an obligation to speak the truth and be accurate. I'm not gonna go anywhere in life by talking shit and fanboying. Right, so respect that. I don't think you've got anything else to prove. You've proven that you're an absolute beast. You're always going to be remembered as one of the greatest lightweights of all time, regardless of whether you won the official belt. Yes, you was the interim champ for a while. But regardless of that, you've got one of the longest win streaks in that division ever, period. You will always be remembered as a great. Not just of that division, but of the sport overall. Your fans love you. If you was to retire now, you will always be remembered as the absolute savage beast that you are, El Cucuy. Not the guy that went on a 3-fight losing streak. And yeah, that's all I've got to say on the matter. Like I said, me saying that he should only fight this guy or this guy, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Jim Miller's a good name. We could fight Jim Miller. He's another old, but I think Tony Ferguson wipes the floor with Jim Miller. But look, I'm doing it again. Trying to speak for him. End of the day, it's between him, the UFC, and his managers. I just hope that he makes a smart decision, a decision that considers his future. And yeah, that's it. I'm done. Enough waffling. I'm out. A big shout out to my friend Blair for producing the amazing background music. If you're looking for a producer, mixer, or just love good music, then head on over to his page and give him a follow. That's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more MMA content just like this and more. I'm your host, Geraint Lewis. See you next time. Peace out.
I love you. See you soon, boy.